Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what's on Jones here, coming right back at your pro wrestling related topic video. I want to talk about Randy Orton. But back in the day, Randy Orton, I'm talking about the Legend Killer. This is about me talking about the Legend Killer. The Legend Killer gimmick, Randy Orton, before we knew him as the Viper today, or the Apex Predator. Now, all that snake shit that they call him today. Now, I want to talk about the Legend Killer Randy Orton, back when Randy Orton was like 23, 24, his first couple of years in the WWE. Now, when Randy Orton first came into WWE, he was just basically some guy. He was just some guy. We didn't know who the hell he was. You know, they said he was Cowboy Bob Orton's son, but I didn't know who Cowboy Bob Orton was. That was before my era, so I didn't care. But he was just basically some guy that really nobody cared about. He looked like a Backstreet Boy, basically. Randy Orton looked like this pretty boy Backstreet Boy, and that was basically it. That was it. So I remember Randy Orton had got hurt, and he did this interview with JR. I think it was JR or Michael Cole. It's probably JR, if I'm not mistaken. And it was in Montreal. And I think he hurt his elbow or his arm. The fans were booing him as they were doing that interview. And I remember they was chanting that, nah, 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 hey, 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 goodbye. Like, they was chanting that towards Randy Orton. And I remember Randy Orton got mad and responded, yeah, this is the place where Bret Hart had got screwed in Montreal. He had said that. He wasn't even a heel. I don't think he was supposed to have said that, but the fans were pissing him off because, he was hurt and he was basically on his way out. But they was doing it because they didn't care about him. Didn't nobody care about Randy Orton. He didn't really do anything that was too big. He didn't really say anything. He didn't command a presence to get us to care about him until he comes back from that injury, and he's now with three individuals: Triple H, Batista, and Ric Flair. They formed this group called Evolution, one of the better groups in the history of the pro wrestling business, in my opinion. Evolution was really, really great. It helped launch Randy Orton. It helped launch his career. It helped give him experience that he needed, to be where he is today. Evolution was really, really entertaining, and it was really, really great. I'm going to always remember Evolution. Now, around this time, Randy was taking out people. He was just taking out guys left and right, particularly veterans, and he started to call himself the Legend Killer. Now, around this time, he was also getting real cocky. He was coming off as this real cocky, young, arrogant prick. He was doing this pose. He was doing this really cool looking pose that no one has ever seen before. So he literally invented his own pose. Like, I never seen that before, and I thought that was cool. Like, I was doing that. I was doing the pose too. We always doing the pose. If you saw that pose, you at least did it one time. Come on, admit it. You at least did it one time. So that pose was really, really cool. He did the finisher that we haven't seen for a while, the Diamond Cutter, but he called it something else, the RKO. Around this time, Randy became the Intercontinental Champion, and he was also having really, really good matches. Man, he was having good matches with Mick Foley, The Rock, Edge. The list goes on, and he was having this really, really good Intercontinental title run. This was a really good Intercontinental title run. Randy Orton might just be the last great Intercontinental Champion. You know what I mean when I say great? I'm talking about great. A prestige title that was, literally, putting effort in. Like, they was putting effort in his title run. So Randy Orton was getting bigger. He was becoming bigger and bigger and becoming a bigger star as the months was going by. So somewhere along the line, Randy Orton gets a title shot. He gets a title shot against Chris Benoit, and he becomes the youngest world champion. Now, I think one of the reasons why they wanted to give Randy Orton that title as the youngest world champion, I believe he wanted it at the age of 23, is because, Brock Lesnar had left, and they was pissed with Brock Lesnar. They didn't like the way he left, and he was their youngest world champion. So they wanted to give that to a guy who was the future, and they built Randy Orton to be the future so much you literally believe it. I believed it, and that's exactly what he was. Look, that's why he's here now. Randy Orton was clearly the future. So they built him up to be the future. He was the world champion. He was on top of the world. The fans were cheering him even though he was a heel. No, they cheered him because, well, he was entertaining. They liked him. And he gets into a feud with Triple H. Now, this is where the Legend Killer heel Randy Orton was starting to basically change. It really started to change right here. He went babyface, but it didn't really work out for him. Like, his babyface run didn't really work out, because I remember thinking to myself, I liked him better as a heel, the cocky heel, the young, arrogant prick, the guy who threw the poses. I liked him better that way. The guy spitting in people's faces. He went to that feud with Triple H and he lost. Man, I was like, damn, like, what happened? I think he had another match and then he lost again. Triple H actually killed a lot of his momentum that he had, as a babyface. Maybe he could have quite possibly been, like the biggest babyface in the company. But, Triple H killed a lot of his momentum, man. And around that time, this is around the time I think Triple H was starting to get creative control of basically what goes on Monday Night Raw. And then, he didn't kill the Legend Killer gimmick right away. He was still sort of calling himself the Legend Killer gimmick. I remember he was doing the whole rated RKO thing. He was still calling himself that a little bit, but it was going down slowly. And also, to me, he wasn't as entertaining. His matches weren't as good, and it was getting on my nerves. But somewhere along the line, he did the Viper. He was wrestling different. He was wrestling more slow. He was like stalking his opponent. He was coming off more of like a psycho, like a snake, basically. And all of a sudden, the Legend Killer was basically dead. The Viper basically killed the Legend Killer. Or maybe Triple H killed the Legend Killer, to be honest with you. But the Legend Killer gimmick was really, really cool, man. It was so amazing. It was, it was cool. It was different, and it had a really cool name. Like, that was the first time I heard like that name, the Legend Killer. To me, that's synonymous with Randy Orton. I think maybe like boxers have called themselves that, like really young boxers who were trying to come up through ranks. But Randy Orton around this time, man, to me, this is him at his absolute coolest. Around 2003, 2004, in Evolution, being the young, cocky prick who basically can get all the girls and, things like that. Randy Orton was built to be the future, and that's exactly what he was. Randy Orton, to me, his best run was the Legend Killer. That's just me in my opinion. I like the Viper. Don't get me wrong, I like the Viper, but I just enjoyed the Legend Killer even better. So, this is What's on Jones. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. I'm out. Deuces. Hey, leave a comment. What did you remember about the Legend Killer? I'm out. Deuces.